security audit we undertook earlier this year. This will be a cut down version of the talk I'm planning to present at EclipseCon OCX. I'll get the name right. And hopefully these slides are working okay. So earlier this year, we undertook an external security audit of the Adoptium Temerium project specifically. So I'm going to quickly cover who, how, why, what, and the results and conclusions that we came to from undertaking this process. So firstly, why did we undertake this audit? The Eclipse Foundation, in collaboration with the Open Source Technology Improvement Fund, OSTIF, wanted to undertake an audit of the Temerium project. Because we distribute binaries, it was deemed to be a good target project. And as a result of that collaboration between Eclipse Foundation and OSTIF, an external auditor, Trail of Bits, was appointed to undertake an audit. Trail of Bits appointed 2 engineers who, over a 2-week period, conducted an investigation, an amount of analysis. They used some automated tools and then carried out reviews of source code and the associated documentation. So tools like SemGrep, check, which we've now implemented as a GitHub action, as a follow-on action, a couple of other tools that we use for checking properties of binary files, and tools for detecting authentication bugs and other access bugs that might be present in web-based applications, particularly the API. So the first thing we determined was which were the key source code repositories within the Temerium project to carry out this audit of. So the key GitHub repos we identified were the Aquatest, the infrastructure repository, the build repository, the API, the installers, and the Jenkins pipelines and associated parts. All those repositories are the ones that are directly involved in creating our binary file distributions that we produce releases from. So what we were trying to guess, so there was a list of questions determined that drove the analysis and the investigation. So primarily, how and where data is stored, how do users authenticate to the applications and systems, how do the internal systems authenticate to each other, how does any user input flow through the system, things like Jenkins jobs and pipeline triggers, how is the infrastructure managed, again, things like security policies, audit policies, elements such as that, how we use cryptography, GPG signing, download verification, and things like that. And then what types of users and privileged parties and how we control our user access. We also investigated where our applications interact with external services, and also where any binary production workloads run, and the security of that infrastructure. During this period, findings were reported, highlighted, discussed, analyzed further where necessary, and as a result of that, GitHub issues were raised for further action where necessary, documentation changes, code changes, whatever was required to remedy those findings. So a total of 19 action items were identified, various levels of severity and different types of mitigations required. So that work was undertaken across the team and further afield where people were deemed the most relevant and most able to handle those issues. So that people like John Oliver fixed a couple of issues in the API. I dealt with a lot of infrastructure related issues and insecure download issues. And let's say the ultimate thing was to implement a SemGrep GitHub action to prevent those future PRs from reintroducing those problems or introducing new versions of those problems. There is an official final report, which is available on the Adoptium website, if you look in blogs, and there is also an official response from the project to go alongside that report with our actions and our mitigations and other details where required. And as you can see there, that's a very quick link to where the blog is, the external audit and the response can both be found on that page. So very quick talk, but if you've got any questions, now's the time.